Hey everybody, this is Kohdok here, and are you ready to see one of the stupidest ideas I have ever seen? Previously, the first episode I did on this new channel was about Warhammer Stormbringer, which is a magazine put out by Games Workshop and Partsworks, which is a magazine that allows you to collect like the normally really expensive components for Warhammer. We're talking magazines chucking around $60 sets like they're candy. And I mean, yeah, you get a cool magazine that comes with like instructions and cool battle plans and stuff, but the real value is like the miniatures. It is why it is such a popular thing, because it just gets you so much. Like, even if you just buy the first 4 issues of the magazine, you are getting basically the contents of the starter set for actually a little bit less, along with some paints. So it is a really good bargain. Like I said, by like box 5, you've gotten all of the contents of like the middle tier set plus a bunch of extras. It is absolutely a good value. But here's the thing, those folks over at Hasbro, they're at it again. They saw it and they were like, hey, we want to be a part of that. So allow me the pleasure of introducing you to Dungeons and Dragons Adventurer. So Dungeons and Dragons Adventurer is the Hasbro version of this whole mad thing. They're doing a Partsworks magazine that is supposed to be like the like Warhammer Stormbringer and all of that, where it's supposed to, bring Dungeons and Dragons to you the same way. But here's the thing. Why do this as a Partswork magazine? So the idea is that, you're getting a Dungeons and Dragons adventure piecemeal. You're getting a new chapter every week that you can play with your group. And that seems like a neat idea, but it makes no sense to do it as a... Why do we do this as a Partsworks thing? Before Paizo went off and made Pathfinder, they actually made 2 magazines called Dungeon and Dragon. And what those magazines were is they were basically supplemental Dungeons and Dragons magazines. They contained new adventures and new equipment and new stuff. They were actually 2 magazines, Dungeon for Dungeon Masters and Dragon for players. So Dungeon had like adventures and monsters and stuff, while Dragon had like treasures and prestige classes, and it was kind of great. So I'm not sure why they're dipping into it with with Partworks, because here's the thing, thanks to our friends at Fohammer, we know what's coming in the subscription. And are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? So this is a Partswork magazine. So in Stormbringer, we're getting things like cool miniatures and stuff, and terrain, and kits that are, normally kind of expensive or difficult to acquire. What do we get in Dungeons and Dragons Adventure? We get dice. I wish I was joking, but Adventure 1, so Stormbringer, issue 1, contains 2 command units. It contains 2 generals, which you can immediately play against each other, because it also comes with dice and a mat to play on. The Dungeons and Dragons Adventure issue 1 only contains dice. But hey, it's only £1.99, right? It's super cheap for a starting issue. Maybe this is just, their foot in the door, the cheapness. Issue 2 contains dice. Issue 2 is £1 more expensive, I believe, and it also contains dice. What does issue 3 contain? Ooh, issue 3 contains some standees. Oh, but they're not exactly miniatures, are they? That's the thing about Stormbringer. In like the vast majority of issues, like easily 75% of the issues, you are getting miniatures. It might be part of a larger kit. It might be a full smaller kit, but you're getting like a miniature kit in nearly every issue. In any issues that don't contain miniatures, they contain paints, and often paint brushes, usually 2 or 3 pots of paint. And like I said, that's only like 25% of the time. We are on issue 3, and so far we have had 2 magazines with dice in them, and 1 that have not miniatures but acrylic standees. Issue 4, dice, or die actually. 1 die in issue 4. It's like a large size D20. Oh no, are they expecting us to subscribe to this whole magazine to collect the whole set? And by now, the cost per magazine has gone up to £5.95, which is £1 less than Stormbringer. And so far, we have gotten some cheap acrylic standees and 1 die. And dice. Issue 5, dice. Issue 6, dice. Issue 7, dice. Why is this Partsworks? It's, like I said, you could do this without getting Partsworks involved. I think they're trying to get like that Partsworks name to get the goodwill that things like Stormbringer make. Because people complain that, you know, Games Workshop stuff, the Warhammer games are so expensive. Hey, here's a magazine that you can do piecemeal and get over time, and, you know, for like a huge discount, get the models that you need to play the game for a whole lot cheaper. Issue 8 is dice. Issue 9 is dice. Issue 10 is dice. Issue 11 is dice. Issue 12 is dice. Issue 13 is dice. Issue 14 has 4 more standees. Issue 15 is dice. Issue 16 has little wooden inspiration tokens. That's it. A few tiny little wooden coins. Oh yeah, definitely getting my money's worth out of this. Issue 17 is dice. Issue 18 is dice. Issue 19 is dice. Issue 20 is a die. Issue 21 is dice. Issue 22 is dice. Issue 23 is dice. Issue 24 is dice. Issue 25. Our third set of more acrylic standees. Just 4 of them. 4 cheap little acrylic standees. Issue 26 is dice. Issue 27 is more coins. Issue 28 is dice. Issue 29 is dice. Issue 30 is a die. I counted. Of the 30 issues that we have confirmed contents of for Dungeon & Dragon Adventurer, 25 of them contain dice. And of the remaining 5, 2 of those are little wooden coins, and the other 3 are each 4 miniatures. 4 miniatures is like the average you get here, and they're not acrylic standees. They're like actual miniatures you assemble and paint. They expect you to take this magazine as seriously as Stormbringer. Like I said, a piecemeal Dungeons & Dragons adventure is fine, but you don't need Partsworks involved in this. You do not need 22 sets of dice in order to play a normal game of Dungeons & Dragons. Dice are by far the easiest thing to acquire. You can get them in any variety you like. And, oh, I haven't even gotten to the best part yet. So, the big thing that Stormbringer advertises is it has a premium subscription. You pay a bit more for each issue, but then you get some cool rewards. Like for Stormbringer, you got Krondis, Son of Dracothian, a $170 kit, and the added amount you pay adds up to about $45. That's a discount of over 120 bucks. And, you know, the fact that we're getting Krondis so early is absolutely insane. What do we get in Dungeons & Dragons Adventure? We get coins! I wish I was kidding. For an extra £1.25 per issue, a grand total of £100 by the end of this 80-issue run, you get 5 coins. You could get Krondis, Son of Dracothian. You could get the Fist of Gork. You could get all sorts of amazing and expensive miniatures, but no, coins. And on top of that, I think just the icing on top of the cake, you know what would be really embarrassing? Because it's 25 issues of dice out of the 30 issues known. That is almost halfway to the end of the whole kit and caboodle. You know what would be really embarrassing is they're doing issue upon issue upon issue of dice, and they only have like a few acrylic miniatures mixed in. It would be really embarrassing if, you know, as long as, you know, WizKids doesn't actually make like sprue assembly kits like Games Workshop puts into Stormbringer, right? You know, they definitely don't make those. They make those. They make those. This is the dumbest thing. This is just building on top of all of the dumb stuff that Hasbro has been doing with Dungeons & Dragons. They can't even do a Partsworks magazine right. They can't have like a new monster introduced like every issue or two that, you know, does something cool. They could give us like just cheap little black and white minis, or you know what? They could do it with literally any publisher but Partsworks and not have us waste a ton of extra money buying, you know, buying a shirt factory worth of dice. I don't even know what that analogy means, but way more dice than you need, way more dice than you have room for. Like I said, dice are literally the easiest thing to acquire. I guarantee you what people are going to want more from a Dungeons and Dragons magazine. It's going to be cool new monsters and cool ways to fight them, not coins. This is honestly, it's a joke. I'm not subscribing to this magazine, and I don't think you should either. Until next time, this is Kohdok signing off.